It's kind of interesting. The longer that I am here, the more fun it is to come down and have conversations with you guys and sort of talk about where the program is and how things are progressing and how things continue to change. One of those things is just looking at the regional rankings right now. So obviously we're in the Midwest region, so I'm just looking at who we kind of match up with, and the team that's right ahead of us in the regional rankings is Kansas. So that's really good company to be in when you think about who like our teams compare to. And then also if you kind of look in the Summit League right now, if I score things out and kind of look at what the Summit League rankings are, we're sitting third on the women's side, and the men's side, we're in fifth. So those things are great. I love to see those because I like to see progression. Tyler does a great job of doing our top 10 lists and taking a look at some of the performances that we have throughout the year in what I would consider an incredibly young year, very early in the year. We've already had 23 new marks added to those. And the other thing that I think is indicative of kind of where the program is right now is that all of those marks come from all of the different events, whether it's pole vault, whether it's high jump, whether it's long jump, sprints, distance. It's awesome to see every group continue to grow and develop. And then I think one of the other major storylines that we have this year with our group is the addition of Yunja Kutlik, and she's continued to perform at an incredibly high level during cross country. She was the first woman ever to make it to a Division I national championship in cross country. We went out to Virginia and she finished in the top third of the field. And then she started her year off with a bang in Boston, setting the 5K school record. So it's awesome to have individuals like that have joined our program, continue to elevate the program. And it's also been really gratifying to continue to work with what has been an incredibly stable coaching staff. That's one of the things, if you know anything about the sporting world, people are always moving up, moving on, doing stuff like that. We've been able to keep the same staff in place the whole time that I've been here, and that gives us great continuity on and off the track and when we're in cross country as well. So really excited about where we're at. We're going to open up at home for the first time this year with the UND Open. That'll be a great opportunity for us to kind of showcase where we're at. And it's always awesome to be able to open up the Pollard and have the community come in and enjoy what is the finest facility in probably a 20-state region. Pretty easy to argue that. And then we also have another group that is going to be out in Washington this weekend competing at one of the best distance competitions in the United States. There's about 2 places in the United States where you go to run fast in distance. One of those is the University of Washington. The other one is Boston University. It's almost exclusively those 2 places where all of the distance qualification marks come from at the NCAA championship meet. And so we're going there to run with the best, and we're excited to see how we do at that meet. Last week we opened up on the distance side at SDSU. Had a great showing, added a bunch of people to the top 10 in the mile. We also had Kenna Curry, who opened up and became the Summit League Field Athlete of the Week, and she's continued to improve her weight throw mark over the 20-meter mark now. So super excited for where we're at in the season and excited to continue to progress as a team.
Coach, you might have hit on it already on some of these things, but when you talk about progression, is there a theme you like on what certain area that has helped you make progress, whether it was hitting at a certain event style, whether it's recruiting a different area, maybe it's the coaching staff. What's the biggest theme for you as to why you maybe has taken a step forward?
I think first and foremost, our past always informs our future in my mind. So we looked at what we've historically been good at here at the University of North Dakota and have just tried to build upon that foundation. Dick Clay had an incredible amount of distance success while he was here, and then Kevin started to build some sprint success as we open up the Pollard and we get the opportunity to utilize those facilities and we get those advantages. And so now both Tom Scott, who works in distance, and Elijah Talk, who works in throws, have just continued to build on that base and take the kids that are here and continue to coach them up and develop them. And then we've also expanded recruiting a little bit. We've been really aggressive, whether that is looking at kids in the United States that we can get to, or whether or not that is getting across a pond and spending 10 days every single year in Europe just trying to sell the story of what the University of North Dakota offers. And we've been able to find some people that have been awesome for us. Last year, Tiffany Magnuson as a freshman was Freshman of the Year. She's from Sweden. The year before that, we had the Conference Athlete of the Year in Elisa Olseth. So we continue to find people like that. Yunja Kutlik's another one of those. She's from Turkey. But we've also had a lot of success getting some of the local kids. Last year we had Austin Wolf was a conference champion in the high jump. And when we got here, he jumped 6'8", and we got him over the 7-foot mark, and that's not small, any small feat. My wife works with the high jumpers in that group. So I think it goes back to we just take what we've done well in the past and continue to kind of build and expand upon that. And I think that we've also, not that no one ever did this before, but this is something specific to us. We talk about winning all the time. I think that winning's a learned trait. And so we have that conversation all the time. What does it take to win? Look around at what are other teams in the Summit League have done a great job. They're doing some consistent things on a regular basis. And I would say out of the teams that have won, guess what? In the regional rankings, it's us and 2 other teams in the Summit League that have won championships over the last however many years that they've been in the league. And so we continue to talk about those things on a regular basis. We don't shy away from where we are not good, and we want to talk about how do we get better in those areas. So those are the things I think that we continue to try and do that are helping to elevate the program in general.
If you're a casual fan, maybe going to the Pollard this weekend, what would you tell them to, the number one thing they got to check out? What should they see?
We have so much stuff going on that's positive. That's a hard one to put a finger on. But I would say this: the one of the things that the Pollard offers is the ability to experience collegiate track and field up close and in person. So you can get down to the throws cage and you can literally be right up against the cage. You can see what those athletes are doing, people that are at an incredibly high level, and see that stuff. You can also get down onto the floor and see high jumps. And we put the bar at 7 feet. I mean, it's one thing to watch it from 50 yards away. It's another thing to be 25 feet away. And the other thing I think that's great too, if you're a casual fan, is just the access to collegiate athletes. Our kids are just at the meet and they're normal people, man. That, one of the things that my son right now has got in his room is he's got a poster of every single team up. And he knows, he's 4 years old, but he's starting to figure out names and know who people are on teams. His name's Jackson, so of course his favorite hockey player is Jackson Blake. He's got to go with the name recognition there, but he's also a big fan of Elizabeth North, who plays volleyball, and he knows all those names. And to me, I think about anybody who's in the community. You can go down to any of our track meets and say hello to any of those athletes, and they'll interact with you, and they're just normal people. But to some of the kids in the community, it's like being around people that are in the NBA. So I think that that's one of the awesome things, is to be able to go down there and put a face to a name. We're all about numbers in our sport, but they're people at the end of the day. And so I think just the ability to walk into our building, go down and see the competitions that are happening, maybe go up to somebody afterwards and just say, hey, that was an awesome competition. That's an opportunity, I think, for our kids to have people that they look up to and recognize as really good at their sport, but also recognize that they're people too. So that's one of the things I think is awesome that our sports information department does, is putting out those posters and just getting some recognition for what is, normally just a time. So let's put some faces and names to that. But I would encourage your casual fan to just say hello to people. I'm also at the meet all the time too. You can always come and say hello to me. That's one of the things that I love about being in the state of North Dakota, is just the accessibility and the recognition that happens as, just on an everyday basis, where you get to say, well, ran into the track coach at the gas station, and I'll take time to talk to anybody. That's important to me, to be part of the community in that way.